Now let's talk about edibles. Most of us have heard a story or two about someone taking too much of a cannabis edible. This is actually not uncommon. So when determining the quantity that you're going to take, definitely err on the side of caution. And just remember that the goal is to find the minimal dose for an effective outcome. Edibles can be used as a sleep aid, for certain types of chronic pain, or for longer, potentially stronger relaxing effect because they last a longer period of time. Some useful points to be mindful of when considering whether or not to take edibles are that the onset time is between 30 and 90 minutes. So once you take the initial dose, it's really important to wait at least this amount of time before deciding to take more. Edibles are processed through your stomach and your liver, which can alter the medicine chemically. In general, this process changes THC and makes it more psychoactive, and as well can interact with the other medications that you're taking. Taking the appropriate amount for your desired outcome can be tricky, as it's not always obvious how much cannabis is in the product, and the exact effect depends on such factors as your metabolism, weight, and your recent food intake as well. Edibles are made with cannabis infused into fats like butter or oil or alcohol. Given this fact, edibles can take many forms. You can add them to a pasta dish, eat an infamous brownie delight, or have a piece of candy even. If you visit your local dispensary, you'll typically see a range of medicated, sugary desserts, basically. But we really recommend staying away from those really high sugar edibles and embracing the healthier options that are out there. I'd like to show you a range of edible products now so that you can become familiar with all of the options that you have. Let's take a look at a few edibles options now. Now, we just have a few options here in front of us, but as you know, edibles can take an array of different forms because the cannabis is essentially baked into or infused into things like butter and sugar, which are ingredients for a huge array of different food types, including candies, chocolates, as you can see, but it could be anything, even if you make it at home from a butter, for example. Now, the trick with edibles, as with most other intake methods, is really getting the dosing right, okay? So looking at the options we have here, which is easiest to dose? It's a good question to ask, and it informs you on what products to use as edibles, if that's the choice that you make. With brownies and things like these bars that have been baked and created, it's a little bit harder to know exactly what the dose is, given that there could be a different concentration in different area of the food, etc. So generally, foods like a brownie, for example, we recommend less just because the dosing efficacy can vary a little bit more than other forms. Here we have some nuts covered with chocolate. Now, a lot of the time a producer will create a product that has a specific number of milligrams per product. These have about 5 milligrams of THC per product. So these are nice for dosing so that you can just literally 1 equals 5 milligrams. So this is a nice way to dose yourself with edibles at any time. And chocolate, we like it. Hopefully they use a high quality chocolate making the product because cocoa can have good benefits for your health as well. Hopefully it's not a very high sugar product. It can be really easy to dose this as well, given that it is literally cut up into equal segments as it's delivered to you. So you can choose to cut these squares up into quarters or even more if you want, if you really want to start low and see how that works. With edibles, even more than any other intake method, you really want to start low and go slow. Remember, edibles are processed through your digestive tract and your liver. When it's processed through your liver, it hits certain enzymes and THC actually can become more psychoactive. Not only that, it lasts a longer period of time as well. So be careful with edibles, just use a little bit of caution and dose accurately as you possibly can, and choose your products accordingly, according to that principle. So with edibles in general, choose your product according to something that's easy to dose, as well as something that just in general, if possible, is a healthy food. With any cannabis product you take, you want to be supporting your health and in line with that intention. And that goes for any product that you put in your body, including the edible, as we see it as medicine.